Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. For the second straight day at Comerica Park, two of the top talents in baseball and two of the top rotations in baseball get together. Justin Verlander on the mound for the Tigers. Left-hander Gio Gonzalez will take the hill for the Nationals. A record of 7-3 and a 2.97 ERA. This ought to be a good one as we welcome you to Comerica Park. It is Game 2 in this series featuring the Nationals and your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen, glad to have you with us. And boy, we thought we had a good one last night, and we did with Strasburg and Sanchez, but another good one slated today here.
Well, Gio Gonzalez, one of the best left-handers in the game of baseball, and he's been in a strikeout mood. His last couple of starts, he's punched out 11 in both of those starts. He's got 3 really good pitches. Tigers are going to have to be at their best today to beat Gio Gonzalez.
All right, now the big news that happened here at the ballpark last night, of course, was the trade that sent Avisail Garcia to the Chicago White Sox. Jose Iglesias will come over from the Boston Red Sox, a 3-team deal. Jake Peavy, meanwhile, goes to the Red Sox. You see Garcia to the White Sox. And what this means for the Tigers' infield depth now and perhaps their shortstop of the future, Jose Iglesias, Ron, we know he can do it defensively.
Well, everybody I've talked to about Iglesias, they say he's an absolute wizard with the glove. Anytime you get your name mentioned in the same breath as Omar Vizquel, you can flat out get it done with that glove. He has hit better this year than the Boston Red Sox thought he would hit. But make no mistake about it, he's a really good shortstop. He can play second base. He can also play some third base. He's a really good-looking prospect. Tigers did a nice job in acquiring Iglesias from the Boston Red Sox.
After a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios and Trevor Thompson. Meanwhile, the Tigers have been winning some games in grand fashion. Peralta on Sunday with a grand slam. Last night, Avila goes granny against Strasburg. Tigers-Nats. Game 2 next. Town to wrap up this two-game series, and Davey has turned in his starting lineup today for the Nationals. It is presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Denard Span back in the leadoff slot, followed by Bryce Harper and Ryan Zimmerman. Jason Worth batting cleanup. LaRoche at first base, Desmond the shortstop. And their bottom three today is Anthony Rendon, Kurt Suzuki catching, and then Steve Lombardosi at second base. They're facing Justin Verlander, who is presented today by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Well, maybe seeing a National League opponent is the perfect remedy to get Justin Verlander back on track. He is 20-2 with a .268 earned run average against the National League since he's come to the major leagues.
And we'll see how that transpires here today. Hopefully a victory for JV as we wrap up this series. First pitch of the ball game is down low to Denard Span.
Span, real good career numbers against Tigers pitching, and Verlander is no exception to that. Real good numbers against JV as well.
Denard last night was 1 for 4 back in the leadoff slot here today. He shows bunt and takes ball too high.
And Davey Johnson took him out of that leadoff spot over the weekend when they played against the New York Mets. And Span homered on Saturday, and he also homered on Sunday.
And he's ahead of the count here, 2-0. And Verlander missing again, 3 balls and no strikes. Span this year in the leadoff slot has only an on-base percentage of .312. Trying to get something started here today. The Nationals scored first last night, but they would eventually lose to the Tigers 5-1. There's a strike call, 3-1 on Span.
On-base percentage, very low numbers for Denard Span coming into the season. His on-base percentage was closing in on .400.
There's Bryce Harper waiting on deck. Harper, in last night's ball game, led off for the Nationals. That's fouled down the left field line. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Overcast skies today at the ballpark. Game time temp 73 degrees. And some umbrellas have popped up, so a slight shower falling here at the ballpark. Nothing major. 3-2 on Span. Some folks covering up with the umbrellas. Some don't really care. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And he walked him, ball 4. Leadoff man is on for Washington.
And Tigers will line it up this way defensively this afternoon. Tuiasa Sopo in left, Jackson in center, Torrey Hunter, he is in right, Miguel Cabrera not starting today. Therefore, Santiago gets the nod over there. Peralta and Perez are up the middle. Prince is at first, and Alex Avila getting his second consecutive start and getting a start against a very tough left-hander in Gio Gonzalez.
So the big fella's out of the game today, Cabrera. That means Santiago fills in at third. He's done that capably. Harper is the batter. Bryce Harper at .273. Led off the ball game last night with a triple and then scored a run.
He's got some great hands. Quick bat. Clobbers fastballs.
Span has 10 steals. And Harper rifles one into right field. Base hit. Span on his way to second will stop there. And Harper again in his first at bat comes up with a base hit.
It's a fastball at 94 miles an hour that Harper was ready for, and he turned on it. Here's why Miggy not playing. He made some nice plays defensively, but then he had to come in for one play later on in the contest, and he visibly on his face you could see that he wasn't feeling all that comfortable. Jim Leland checked on him after that half inning. He stayed on to play 8 innings, but not starting today.
So with 2 on and nobody out, here is Ryan Zimmerman. And he takes one down the middle of strike, 0-1.
Makes you wonder if the Tigers wouldn't be better served just possibly putting Miguel on the disabled list for a couple of weeks just to give him a blow to make sure that hip flexor is really good. And there are no issues the last 2 months of the season.
Well, I thought about that last night, and I kind of agree with you. I mean, at least they have to think about it. It is so tough to take him out of the lineup. That'll get away from Avila, and both runners will move up.
This is the last thing that Verlander needed here in the very first inning, is to be pitching in stress, especially with the last couple of outings that he's had. Now, this will go down as a wild pitch. Avila gets over, blocks it, but the ball trickles about 5 feet to the left, and that allowed Span, who can run, to go from second to third. And Harper also good speed now down at second base.
1 ball, 1 strike on Ryan Zimmerman. He delivered the game's first run last night with an RBI hit against Sanchez. He's up there again here today with a chance to drive in some runs. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, these two guys are from the same area, the Virginia area. As a matter of fact, they both played collegiately against each other. Zimmerman said that Verlander had 1 start against his team, University of Virginia.
There are a lot of major league players that hail from that area. Michael Cuddyer, the Upton brothers, but there are also some players in other sports that have come from that area of Virginia. Here's the 2-1. Checked it and he went. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Guys like Lawrence Taylor,
Really?
Alonzo Mourning, Allen Iverson, some of the other sports. So it has been a hotbed. Zimmerman grew up in Virginia Beach.
That last slider at 88 miles an hour, pretty good velocity for Verlander with that pitch. He was throwing it way too hard 5 days ago against the White Sox. His slider was at 92 miles an hour that day.
That'll go foul down the right field line. 2-2. The count stays on Zimmerman. Short 2-game series between these two teams. They played 2 in Washington back in May in the National Swept that series. Tigers trying to return the favor here. Jason Worth waiting on deck. Jim Leyland hoping for another quality start out of one of his starters. They've gotten a ton of those this year. And again the 2-2. 3-2 as Avila goes down to block yet another. Verlander in his last 2 starts, 7 runs against the White Sox, 5 runs on the road against Kansas City. He has had some times this year where he's literally been almost unhittable. Near no-hitter against the Astros. Now the 3-2. And he lost him. Ball 4. That's going to load the bases as Zimmerman takes his walk. Pretty close, just off the edge.
As you can see, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the Justin Verlander velocity. That last pitch to Zimmerman, which missed, and for ball 4 was 97 miles an hour. And now he has to face their hottest hitter, and that would be Jason Worth.
3 grand slams in his back pocket. This year, though, with the bases loaded 0 for 5. They have Span, Harper, and Zimmerman aboard. JV has walked 2 of the first 3 batters he has faced in this game. And Worth takes a ball down low. 1-0. Here is what you are talking about in the month of July. Well, these are his season numbers, 304. Month of July, 21 RBIs, leads the National League. He's been driving them in bunches this month. There's a ball inside. Now it's 2-0.
I'd like to see Justin do a little bit more of that today. And if he does start to pitch inside a little bit more effectively than he has the last few times, when he's gone to the mound, he might be able to right the ship here in the first inning.
Well, you don't often see this, but Jeff Jones coming out for a meeting on the mound with Verlander here, just 4 batters into this game. A couple of walks, at 2-0 count now with the bases loaded. A very quick meeting. Worth has 42 RBIs. He was 1 for 4 in the ball game last night. Here's the 2-0 pitch. High fly ball, right center field. Hunter backing up. This will be deep enough to get the run in. Worth will get an RBI. Advance Harper to third. Sac fly to make it 1-0 Washington. 43rd RBI of the year for Jason Worth. One gone, and that'll bring up Adam LaRoche. LaRoche, a .235 hitter. As Gio Gonzalez gets some early run support, we'll see exactly how many he gets. Last night 1 for 4 with a double for LaRoche, but really since the All-Star break he has struggled. 4 for 36. Ball 1. But Justin, though, continues to fall behind these Nationals hitters. Leadoff walk by Span, single by Harper, walk to Zimmerman. And a sac fly by Jason Worth. 1-1. Nationals came in 10 games back. The National League East, in fact, a season high 10 games out. Here's the 1-1. 1-2 now on Adam LaRoche. As you can see, not a good ratio for JV early on in this one. More balls than strikes in this game.
Yeah, Verlander does not have a whole lot of a margin for error today with Gio Gonzalez pitching for the Washington Nationals. He needs to limit the damage here in the first inning. You can't give up too many runs when you're opposing Gonzalez.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. LaRoche tried to hold up. That is a big punch out for JV.
A couple of outstanding off-speed pitches to LaRoche to finish him off. The first one was a changeup, which he got strike 2 with. And then he comes back with a really nice bender that had LaRoche fooled.
And LaRoche didn't know whether to stop or go and was caught in between, and he's out. Here is Ian Desmond.
And Desmond, very aggressive hitter. Loves to swing at first pitch fastballs. And has a quick bat.
Strike 1. Nationals came into this game as a team batting just .241, and only the Mets and the Marlins over in the National League had a lower team batting average.
Yeah, 2 of those teams you just mentioned, the Marlins and this team here, the Nationals, don't have the same hitting instructor anymore.
To the shortstop, Peralta plays a wicket hop, throws to second for the force. Ending the inning. They settle for 1, and we'll go to the bottom of the first. Tigers to the victory. We'll see what the offense can do here today. The Tigers starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Austin Jackson leads it off, followed by Torrey Hunter, and then Matt Tuiasosopo batting third with Cabrera out of the lineup today. Prince cleaning up Victor Martinez, the DH, Peralta at short. You've got Perez, Santiago, and Avila rounding out the Tigers starting 9, and they will face the left-handed offerings of Gio Gonzalez.
And there may be only one other left-hander in the National League more impressive than Gonzalez, and that would be Clayton Kershaw of the Los Angeles Dodgers. And Gonzalez 7 wins this year, 3 losses, a sub-3 ERA, and legitimate strikeout pitches: the fastball, the curveball, and the changeup.
Austin Jackson leads it off and looks at strike 1 from Gonzalez.
His fastball will go anywhere from 89 to 94 miles an hour.
AJ last night was 0 for 4. He shoots this one in the air to right field. Cruising over is Jason Worth. 1 out.
Tim Hortons will sponsor the Washington Nationals defensive alignment this afternoon. Worth in right, Span with no errors. He's in center field. He's got great hands. Harper, he's in left. Rendon, Desmond, Lombardozzi, and LaRoche in the infield. And Kurt Suzuki, the former Oakland Athletic, is the catcher today.
There is Suzuki. The Tigers are very familiar with him from his A's days. Here's Torrey. Hunter shoots one to right field. Worth is on the run for this ball. He is looking up, and it's going to be a fair ball. Hunter is on his way to second, and they're going to call it a ground rule double. Torrey taking the turn, but they're going to call him back. 2-base hit for Torrey Hunter.
When I got to the clubhouse this morning, I stopped by Torrey Hunter's locker, and he was watching some at-bats of Gio Gonzalez on his iPad, and he said that he knew that he was going to get some first-pitch fastballs today. And Torrey Hunter was waiting for that first-pitch fastball, and he took it, and he hit it right down the right field line. He also knows that for the most part on the first pitch that Gonzalez throws the right-handers, they're going to be away from him. So that's just real good research turned in by the veteran right-hander. Right fielder, I should say, Torrey Hunter. And he is right-handed, too.
Well, here's Tuiasosopo. Matt Tyner driving a run here with 1 out, taking over in the 3 slot again here today in the absence of Cabrera. Risk this year, 364, and one of Matt's biggest hits this season came against Dan Herron in the Nationals. Pinch hit 3-run homer. That was in Washington back in May. The Tigers ended up losing that game by a run, but still a big hit off the bench for the Tigers. 7 homers this year for Tuiasosopo is a career high. The 2-0. Matt again hits one in the air to right. Worth has been busy. He'll go to the corner for this one. Hunter will tag. And Torrey is moving up. He'll get to third with 2 outs.
Kind of gives you an idea of the life that Gonzalez has on that fastball. 91 to 94. All 3 of the right-handers that have come to the plate in this inning have all hit the ball the opposite way.
Now here is a left-handed batter, Prince Fielder. "17 home runs for Prince." He shoots one high in the air to center, but a lot of room out there for Denard Span, and that is that for Detroit. No runs, a double, 1 man left. We head to the 2nd.
Back in 2011 when he won his Cy Young, and then also this year. And what I want you to focus on for me is the head. Take a look at his head on the left side, 2011, how he's looking directly into his target. You can see on the right side, the head is looking out toward the opposing team's dugout. It has been well documented that Verlander's had a difficult time commanding the fastball, and just by your head being over so slightly in that manner that his was will get your arm slot to a different area. Therefore, it will cause some command issues, and Verlander has had some command issues this year with his fastball.
And he had some in the first inning, walking a couple of batters. One of them came around to score the leadoff man span.
And if you look real close, you can see that the arm slot's a little bit different. And it's all because of the violence in the delivery in 2013. Verlander trying to create more velocity this year.
Anthony Rendon is the batter as he pounds one foul back out of play, 0-2.
That is something the last 3 or 4 years that we have very little touched on regarding Justin Verlander, and that's his mechanics when on the mound.
So how does a guy who wins an MVP, a Cy Young, and is a consistent winner and threatens 20 victories every single season, that's rolled foul, get into a situation like that?
Well, because he was trying to create velocity earlier in the year, and he admitted so. And everybody talked about the fact that his velocity down this year from a couple of years ago. And Verlander, he heard all those whispers, and then by trying to create more velocity, sometimes the mechanics can get out of whack just a little bit.
And that's all it takes, just a little bit. 0-2 on Rendon.
When Verlander took off in his Cy Young year, you could see where his head was directly toward home plate. That allows you to read the swings. When that ball gets in the hitting zone, you can see what the hitters are doing and how they're reacting to what you throw. If there's violence in the head, then you're not getting that real good look. Therefore, you're not throwing the real good pitches.
Like that one, nasty breaking ball. And they got Rendon looking.
He's already thrown a couple of really good curveballs today. One, he got a strikeout to LaRoche, and then he gets a strikeout there of Rendon.
How about that breaking ball Strasburg was featuring last night?
Oh, he is dirty. He's fun to watch. That was a good baseball game last night.
That it was. So Verlander now will face Kurt Suzuki. And JV throws a strike. His last 11 consecutive pitches now have hit the strike zone. After a very slow start in that respect in the first inning. Suzuki batting .222. He's hit 3 home runs. The 0-1. Into the glove for strike 2. So all of a sudden JV pounding the strike zone now. Suzuki 19 RBIs, was acquired last year. Last August from the Oakland Athletics for the stretch run for the Nationals. Here's the 0-2. In the air. Shallow right field. Hunter coming on, and there are 2 gone. Hey, the Tigers open up a 5-game series against their Central Division rivals, the Kansas City Royals, on Thursday, August 15th at 7:08. Tickets are still available if you're interested, and we hope you would be. 866-66-TIGER, or check it out online at tigers.com. A Central showdown with the Royals. Got a doubleheader mixed in there. That's why you've got a 5-game series. Steve Lombardozzi looks at a ball outside. .251 hitter. Lombardozzi playing second base today. And a ball outside again, 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. He'll get back out of play. 2-1 on Lombardozzi. 8 pinch hits this year, which ties him for the team high. Getting a chance to start today. Zimmerman off his feet. He's not playing third. Rendon moves over to third, and Lombardozzi at second. Bouncing ball first base side. Prince has it there. It's going to be a 1-2-3 inning. Verlander with a nice comeback here in the second. the ballpark, and you know what that means. I mean, Santa Claus is here.
That means presents for everybody,
including you and I, hopefully. Hey, evidently, where did those come from? Did you know those were there?
I did not.
I did not either. They must have snuck in.
Nice, very nice.
Early this morning.
Anything in them, though?
That's the million-dollar question.
Looks like I got something in mind. Yours looked a little gimpy there.
Wouldn't be the first time, though, man. Here come the Tigers in the second, and Martinez shoots one foul down the right field line. It'll be Martinez, Peralta, and Hernan Perez here facing Gio Gonzalez. Gave up a double, but no damage in the first. Victor's been hot. 38 hits in the month of July, which wraps up today. Ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Trading deadline 4 p.m. today, so just a few hours left in the trading deadline. Of course, the Tigers made the big deal last night, right after we left the ballpark. Here's the 1-1. Martinez lines it to left, base hit. Victor just keeps on swinging. Here's that trade again in case you missed it last night. Jose Iglesias comes from the Boston Red Sox. Peavy goes to the Red Sox, and Garcia goes to the White Sox.
The White Sox, they've had scouts watching the Tigers basically all year long, and you have to go all the way back to spring training. And they loved Garcia. They got the guy they wanted. Tigers did not want to part with Garcia, but to give up something, well, excuse me, to get a really good player, you have to give up a really good player.
Johnny Peralta fouls it back out of play.
And make no mistake about it, Iglesias is going to win a Gold Glove before it's all said and done at the shortstop position. We saw him play second base because they had Stephen Drew playing shortstop. But everybody that I talked to on that Boston Red Sox squad when they were here, they raved about his defensive skills.
That's driven in the air toward left, hit pretty well. Harper going back, track wall. It's up the top of the wall. Martinez on his way to third. They're going to step in there. Victor had to see if that ball was going to go, so he hesitated around second, and that's going to be a double for Johnny Peralta.
It's a fastball right around the belt buckle that Peralta jumps all over. Victor Martinez, he was on first base. I don't think he thought Harper was going to catch that ball. Therefore, he could have been around second base a couple steps. And if he catches it, then you simply retouch second base, and then you go back to first base.
So now the Tigers in business here with nobody out. Hernan Perez stands in. Ball 1. Single and a double. The Tigers have 3 hits, 2 of them for extra bases.
And Tigers have to somehow push a run or 2 across the board here against Gonzalez. They're really good pitchers. If you don't get them early, you usually don't get them at all.
2-0. Now the 2-0 pitch. Fouled back out of play, had a rip. On a 2-0 fastball, and now 2-1 on Perez. Hernandez hit safely in his last 5 consecutive ball games. In fact, he is 7 for his last 14, so known for his glove and his defensive ability. He's swinging the bat a little bit better at this level. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Gonzalez is 27 years old. He hails from Hialeah, Florida. 6 feet 198. Santiago waiting on deck. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss, and Gonzalez picks up a big strikeout. 1 gone.
The Tigers nearly made a deal for Gio Gonzalez a couple of years ago before Oakland traded him to the Washington Nationals. But when the Tigers called Oakland and started asking about how much it would cost, some of the names that the Tigers were given were guys like Castellanos, Garcia, and Drew Smiley. They really wanted Drew Smiley. Tigers were unwilling to give up any of those guys.
Gonzalez won 21 games last year in the National League. Santiago takes ball one. But Smiley has developed into, dare I say, the most dependable back end arm the Tigers have in their bullpen. He's really been lights out.
He and Benoit right there.
Now the 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1.
If you're Victor here with one out and on third base, if Santiago hits something on the ground toward Lombardozzi or the shortstop Desmond, you can't take for granted that they're going to let you score. If it's hit hard enough, they will try to get the out at home plate. Victor needs to be aware of that, even though it looks like they're conceding the run.
2-1. .183 for Santiago. He's getting the start at third today. Miguel Cabrera out of the lineup here this afternoon. Up with the right hand goes Brian Gorman. 2-2.
Good firm fastball there from Gonzalez at 93 miles an hour, away from his arm side on the inside black.
Right at the knees as well. That time Ramon able to lay off, and the count fills now 3-2. There's Avila waiting on deck. Santiago 5 hits in his last 7 games. Would love to deliver a big one here. And he sends a ground ball to third, off the glove of the third baseman Rendon. 2 runs will score. Santiago is on his way to second. He's in there safely, and the Tigers have a 2-1 lead.
And Zimmerman, their Gold Glove defender down at third base, is DH today. Rendon down at third base, couple of steps, does not leave his feet. Had he left his feet, he may have been able to keep one of those runs from scoring. Victor probably would have scored anyway, but if he had that ball in his glove, then Peralta doesn't come around to score if he leaves his feet and makes a play.
7th double of the year for Santiago. Give him a couple of RBIs, and it's 2-1 in favor of the Tigers. The bottom of the lineup got it done last night, and they have done it so far again here today. Avila with a grand slam last night, the first of his career. Jumped his RBI total to 30. And the 1-0. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes.
Here's that home run that he hit off Steven Strasburg. The 2-1, 96-mile-per-hour fastball down in the happy zone of Avila, and he drilled it.
7th home run of the year for Avila, and it came against one of the best pitchers in baseball, Steven Strasburg, who to that point had given up just 1 run. The Tigers hitting grand slams in back-to-back games for the first time since 1996. Peralta hit one Sunday and yesterday. Mr. Avila. Here's the 2-0. Lifted toward left. Harper on the move. Still going back. He looks up. That ball carries out. It is gone. An opposite field 2-run shot for Avila. He homers in back-to-back games.
The grand slam that Avila hit in last night's game came on his mom's birthday. I wonder who this 2-run shot here is for in the second inning for the Detroit Tigers. And they have a nice little lead here against a real good left-hander in Gio Gonzalez.
Tigers get 4 runs in the first 2 innings against Gonzalez.
4 of the Tigers' 5 hits today are for extra bases.
Gonzalez had not given up 4 runs in any start since May the 27th against the Orioles.
And left-handers usually don't do anything against Gonzalez with his 3-pitch mix and his arsenal. And before that base hit off the bat of Avila, he was holding left-handers to a 147 batting average.
So Avila now has hit safely in 6 in a row. 2-run shot is big. There's a line drive right at Rendon. 2 gone. Avila's bat starting to perk up at the right time now as the Tigers head toward August.
Tigers with a little extra pep in their step. They've won 4 games in a row. Their general manager has gone out and made a couple of moves to improve the club. Things are good right now. It really is Christmas in July right now.
Yes, it is. The Tigers, with a victory today, would run their winning streak to 5 straight. And really, they've had to do it, Rod, because the Indians aren't cooling down.
Yeah, they're rolling.
They've won 6 in a row. 2-0 on Torrey.
And the Indians are getting some of those impressive wins, those wins where you can build up a lot of momentum, those walk-off wins. Ryan Raver did it a couple of times. Jason Giambi did it a couple of days ago.
42-year-old Jason Giambi.
Did you see where he was the oldest player at 42 in the history of the game to hit a walk-off home run?
I saw that. And you're right. I mean, it seems like the Indians going back in the mid-90s were always hitting walk-offs. Ooh, look out, up and in as Torrey backs off. 3-1. Tigers have 4 runs on 5 hits. They plant a 4 spot on Gio Gonzalez. That's driven to left field. That ball is hit well. Harper looks up, and we have back-to-back. Well, no, 2 home runs in the inning, almost back-to-back. But Torrey hits his 11th, and they're peppering Gio Gonzalez.
There is no better way to answer a pitcher after he dusts you with a mid-90s fastball around the letters and kind of backs you off the plate. And to that next pitch you get, you hit it out of the ballpark. Nicely done by Torrey Hunter. Also told you, if you weren't with us, that I saw Torrey Hunter today, and he was watching a lot of video on Gio Gonzalez. His first time up, he took a double down the right field line. Second time up, he was looking to turn on the ball, which he did, and homers.
It's the first time that Gonzalez has given up 5 runs in a start since April the 30th.
As good as Strasburg and Gonzalez are, and they are really good pitchers, make no mistake about it, this is the best offense that they've seen this year. And it's no Miguel Cabrera today.
Well, and that's the other thing I was about to bring up. The Tigers, in games in which Cabrera has not played, have really been able to pick up the pace. The ball goes all the way to the backstop. 1-0. 2-run double for Santiago. 2-run homer for Avila. Solo shot for Torrey Hunter. There's the 1-0. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. 5 runs on 6 Detroit hits now. Tuiasa Sopo is the 8th man to bat in the inning. Here's the 2-0 pitch. On the ground left side, gobbled up there by Rendon. And he pulled him off the bag. It appeared safe. LaRoche was yanked off the bag. And the inning is still alive. E5.
They've committed a lot of errors out of that third base position this year. And Zimmerman, who's the DH today, he's made 16 total this year, and that's a really poor throw by Rendon there.
So Zimmerman gets the day off DHing, and Rendon commits a throwing error, filling in at third base. Strike 1 on Prince Fielder. Tigers bat around here in the 5-run second. One ball, 1 strike. Fouled straight back, 1-2. So Gonzalez, who should be back into the dugout after that routine ground ball is thrown away, now has to deal with Fielder. And it's been a long half inning here for Gio Gonzalez. This will be his 35th pitch of this inning. Fouled away.
He needed only 7 to complete the first inning.
It was a snappy first inning, but now he's up to 42.
Gonzalez always has high pitch counts anyway because he gets so many swings and misses with his curveball and his changeup.
Got him on the outside corner, strike 3 to end the inning. However, the Tigers have a big 5-run second. They send 9 men to the plate. Santiago doubles in 2. Avila 2-run shot. Torrey caps it off with a home run. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. Remember last night when Andy Dirks doubled down the left field line, a fan touched the ball, which cost the Tigers a run, but much improved today.
Yeah, different story today. Maybe the fans down there today took notice of last night's game, didn't interfere with this ball that was in play. And by the time Harper gets over there to get it, the Tigers do score 2 runs.
Nicely done, fans. 5-0 and 5-1 rather in favor of the Tigers as we go to the third. The Nationals got 1 in the first inning, a 5 spot for Detroit. In the bottom of the second, Verlander now has a lead to work with.
And Verlander needs to put up a 0 here in the top half of the third inning against the Nationals. Get his squad back in the dugout. Keep the momentum on your side.
He had a 1-2-3 second inning. He's got the top of the lineup. Span leading it off. 1 ball, 1 strike on Denard Span.
You want to stay out of fastball counts against Denard Span. He gets set early, doesn't try to overpower fastballs, just simply puts them in play. He's got great hand-eye coordination. Therefore, real good numbers in his career against Tigers pitching.
2-1.
Here's that fastball count that I speak of.
Denard this month has 10 RBIs, the most that he has driven in any month this year. Waiting on a 2-1. Bouncer back up the middle. It's going to get through. Base hit.
There you have it.
Time for a game break now. We check in with Mickey York. Yeah, Mick, thanks. And that certainly is a nice Christmas present since it's Christmas in July today.
No doubt.
There's a ball outside to Bryce Harper.
How did they get Mick up so early today? He was in that studio last night. They called Sam's studio.
They may have to bribe him. I'm not sure. Mick is always ready to go.
Get him some breakfast.
Yep, that's all he needs. Quick toss back. Harper had a single back in the first. A cloudy, overcast day all afternoon. The sun has done its best to peek through the clouds. And a ball low. 2-0 on Bryce Harper. 2 hits in the series. Had a triple, scored a run in last night's game. National League's Rookie of the Year last year. Hit 12 homers, hit 270 and 59 RBIs. Foul tip that one right into the glove.
This young man's got a lot of talent. I mean, out every day you see young kids come to the big leagues with this kind of skill set. Monster power, hits for average. He can run for a big guy, good arm, good defensive player. And he plays the game like he's an old school guy.
We're down in the concourse today outside of the Tigers locker room waiting to get in for the Jim Leyland press conference, and a bunch of the Nationals came in off of the elevator. Harper was one of them, and even in street clothes he just looks like a baseball player. Tremendous amount of skill at a young age. Runner goes and a foul straight back.
He was so bored in high school that his junior and senior year he did not stay in high school. He took the GED, which is the equivalent of a diploma, and then went on to play junior college that following season. So he should have been a junior in high school, but yet he was playing junior college baseball, and he was a Golden Spikes winner that year. Best collegiate player in the country.
I would call that being on the fast track.
In the entire country.
2-2. He popped that one straight up. Mile high as well. Perez, the second baseman, waiting. Finally falls into his glove. One gone.
I've noticed that Verlander today is doing more today than he did in his last start, and that's fastballs inside. Look at this location here. At 94, if you get it in there, even a guy like Harper can't get to it. It's a well-located pitch.
First out of the inning, that'll bring up Ryan Zimmerman. Walked in the first inning, did not score. Ball one inside. Zimmerman knocked in a run in last night's ball game. Had a 3-homer game earlier this year against the Orioles. Tigers keeping an eye on Span with his 10 steals in 14 attempts. Another throw. Ooh, that was close. Big swipe tag there by Prince, who thought he got it.
I'm surprised that that play was that close. Denard Span spent a number of years playing for the Minnesota Twins, and he knows Justin Verlander, for a power pitcher and being right-handed, has really quick feet. Ball actually beat Span there.
Fouled straight back. Was that one of those pickoff throws where if Prince had allowed it to get a little bit deeper to the bag, it might have been a situation where they get it?
No doubt. Then when he does that, all you have to do is just drop the glove on the right arm, right hand, instead of taking it to throw and then reaching back. It's a great point.
1 ball, 1 strike on Ryan Zimmerman. Chase Span back again.
And Verlander doing a very nice job of making sure that if Span does try to steal a base, he's not going to get a great jump. He wants to keep his double play in order here. Zimmerman has grounded into quite a few this year, as you could imagine.
Popped up First base side, will Prince have room? He will not. Back into the dugout, and then the seats. 1-2 on Zimmerman. Nationals have an off day tomorrow, then they're off to Milwaukee. The Tigers have an off day, and then Chicago comes in for the weekend.
Nationals are on the same type of schedule that we are on. They also had Monday off, as did Detroit.
Another throwback. It's always nicer, though, to have those off days at home.
That's right.
Which the Tigers are enjoying.
And on top of that, a day game today.
Zimmerman waiting on the 1-2. Verlander expending a lot of energy, keeping an eye on Denard Span. Span wants time now as he walks off the bag.
At this point in time, because Verlander's done a really nice job of keeping Span close, if he decides to steal, Avila will throw him out. Not going to get a great jump.
Another pop-up on the infield. Avila, one step in foul territory, makes the play. And there are 2 outs now. Hey, join us again Friday. The Tigers welcome in the Chicago White Sox. Coverage begins at 6 o'clock with Tigers Live. The Tigers White Sox right here on Fox Sports Detroit.
And White Sox coming in minus Jake Peavy. White Sox have been busy. They've traded Jesse Crain. They've traded Matt Thornton.
Doug Fister will throw that first game. Kind of figured that would happen. I thought Rios would be gone too. He still might be. There's a check swing, ball 1 on Jason Worth.
Rios bruised his left foot yesterday. He hit a foul ball off his left foot. He had to leave the game. Didn't appear to be too serious.
Now they took him to the hospital to have it checked out. Worth had a sac fly back in the first inning to knock in a run. Span, meanwhile, continues to get a workout. His lead is lengthy enough in which he has to dive back into the bag. Ball high, 2-0. So Verlander, after a snappy second, is up to 50 pitches now. Jason Worth. A couple of walks in that first inning for JV, and one of them came around to score. LaRoche on deck. And there's another walk. 2 out base on balls, 3rd of the game now for Verlander, and now he's going to have to deal with LaRoche, who has not nearly been the type of hitter Worth has been this month.
Walks have been an issue for Verlander's last 4 starts. That is now 11 free passes given by Justin.
2 on 2 out. He struck LaRoche out back in the first inning. And that came with runners at first and third. And LaRoche looks at a strike right at the belt, 0-1. Adam knocked in 100 runs last year, but was not signed until January this past offseason. The 0-1 bends inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
LaRoche was trying to get him a 3-year contract, which he really earned with the year that he had in 2012. Had to finally settle on a 2-year deal.
Handy with the glove as well. 1-1. popped him up foul. This will head back to the seats.
You said something last night that shocked me. You said in the last year that he has hit as many home runs as Prince Fielder.
Yeah. Which stunned me when I actually looked at the stat. Prince is known for his long balls. Well, LaRoche has hit just as many when you combine each of the last 2 years. Now time called at home plate. LaRoche has that wide open stance. Stands straight up at the plate. Swings and tips it into the glove for strike 3. Verlander keys it for the second time in the game. And the Nationals strand 2. Here comes the bottom of the third. Part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Jeep, get a great summer deal on a legendary Jeep SUV at the Jeep Summer Clearance Event. And by Iams Dog Food, the delicious taste he loves without the additives he doesn't. Back here at the ballpark, Tigers on top 5-1 as we go to the bottom of the third here at Comerica. Glad to have you along this afternoon. Day baseball here in the Motor City, and the trade deadline, well, it's starting to tick away. 1 hour, 51 minutes left. 4 p.m. Eastern is the deadline. There's a ball low, 1 ball, 1 strike on Victor Martinez.
It is so hard for those teams that are right on the bubble. With the added wild card last year, sometimes it's really tough to discern whether your club is really still in it or whether you should be sellers.
That's driven to center field. Span is on the move. Well, there are a lot of teams I think that fit in that category this year that are trying to make that decision. The other thing is that really, unless you have something on semi-solid ground to this point, it's going to be tough because you have to have all the paperwork and all of the physicals done by 4 p.m. So you can't make a trade at 3:59 and then worry about the paperwork later. That does not work.
And Dave Dombrowski, when he was a very young executive and coming up to the Montreal Expos organization, his nickname was Trader Dave. And he's at it again this year.
Dave providing the Tigers with some infield depth. Fister in the past, Sanchez in the past. To shallow right field, and Worth will come on to make the play. 2 gone.
Iglesias gives you so many different options because you just don't know if Miguel's going to be out for a while. So here's a guy who could possibly play some third base, he could play some shortstop, or some second base.
These are the words of Dave Dombrowski on Mr. Iglesias. They see him as an all-star shortstop. In all my years in the game, the only 2 defensive shortstops that I've seen that are better are Ozzie and Omar Vizquel.
Oh my goodness.
How about that duo?
Did he say that?
Well, he did say they were better, but barely, apparently. So 1-2-3 inning for Gio Gonzalez. And the Minnesota Twins this month to take advantage of the weekday value pack. 4 tickets, hot dogs, chips, and soft drinks for just $60. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. The weekday value pack, man, you can't beat that. It, by the way, is Christmas in July here at the ballpark today.
It looks like a lot of people have taken advantage of that weekday pack here today.
Oh, no doubt. Big crowd here as we wrap it up this afternoon in this 2-game series. So far, so good for Detroit. They lead 5-1. And they've out-hit the Nationals 6-2. Justin Verlander facing Ian Desmond to lead things off the 4th. Ball missing outside, 1-0. You know, we talk about these big crowds, Rod. Typically, but it's most impressive when you have a weekday game, when folks, you know, have work. And I know the kids are out of school now, but still to have these crowds in the weekdays are pretty impressive.
No doubt about that. Mr. Illich is, for me, the best owner in all of sports. He allows Mr. Dombrowski to go out and bring in the kind of players that these kinds of fans want to come out and watch. They have a real nice product on that field, and this, a lot of thanks goes to Mike Illich.
Well, when we travel around the league, whether it's the National League or the American League, typically when you have weekday day games, you're lucky to get 15,000 to 20,000 in most major league ballparks. Standing room only here today. Desmond hit into a force his first time up, and he swings and misses. 2-2.
Desmond has a quick bat, and he's a real good fastball hitter, but that cheddar up around the letters, you can't catch up to at 94 miles an hour.
What type of cheese are we featuring today?
Cheddar. Cheddar today.
Oh, well, you did say cheddar.
I'm going to go simple. Verlander today. I don't want to complicate anything this afternoon.
No Colby Jack or anything? Gouda? Goat cheese?
None of that fancy stuff you eat.
3-2 the count. Simple is the best, I suppose. Rendon and then Suzuki here in the 4th inning. 3-2 pitch. Yeah, he lost him. Ball 4. That's going to be the 4th walk of the game now for Justin. By the way, you can vote for your Tigers McDonald's Player of the Game, presented by the new Detroit Tigers M&M McFlurry only at McDonald's. Using your cell phone, text Tigers, then a space, then the player's uniform number to 37338, or vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. Well, the Tigers had some early candidates. Torrey Hunter would be one. He is homered in this game. So has Avila. The Tigers scored all 5 of theirs in the 2nd inning.
That is the fourth time this season that Justin Verlander has walked 4 in a game. And he's also had one start where he walked 5.
2 of them in the first, 1 in the third, and now 1 here in the fourth. Rendon struck out back in the second. Rendon was a high draft choice out of Rice in Houston. In fact, at Rice, he spent 3 years at Rice and hit a combined .371.
Good baseball school, good program there. And Verlander needs to keep an eye on Desmond. He has 11 steals. He's been caught 3 times this year.
Leadoff man is on. Now the 1-1. 1-2.
Check that, 12 steals for Desmond. He stole a base yesterday.
The numbers so far in JV: the 4 walks against 3 strikeouts. Only 2 hits surrendered so far. Missed it inside. Fastball that time, and now it's 2-2.
I'd like to see Verlander go right back inside with that same fastball, see if he can crowd Rendon.
There goes the runner. Swing and a miss. Throw down to second is high and not in time.
He did go back to back with the fastballs inside. Rendon swung through the second one. Actually looked like he tipped it, but right into the glove of Avila. And Desmond with his 13th steal of the year.
It's pretty good right there for Avila, even to get a throw off that foul tip. 13 steals now for Desmond. Here's Kurt Suzuki. Suzuki in his days with the Athletics was known as a guy that just went out and caught every single day. He has caught a lot of innings. In fact, only Yadier Molina has caught more since 2008 than Suzuki. He flied out to right field back in the second. Desmond a walk and a steal. He is standing at second base with 1 out. Bouncing ball left side. Peralta waits on the hop, and his throw is right on the money. Suzuki is out, and the runner will hold. 2 gone. We got Steve Lombardozzi. Well, Tigers pitching has been so good that they now have 11 quality starts in their last 14. They lead the American League with 621 strikeouts, or did coming in, their starting staff. Popped up down the left field line, heading to foul territory and back out of play. Tiger starters also have posted 52 wins, which is the most in the American League. 52 of their 60 had been recorded by the starting pitchers. Max Scherzer has been brilliant. I'm starting to wonder if Anibal Sanchez gets enough credit around the league.
I don't think so. He takes a back seat to nobody. 4 above average pitches. He can command all of them. He can get to 97 with his fastball with great control.
It's on display again here last night. 1 ball, 1 strike on Lombardozzi. Raindrops starting to fall again here at the ballpark. Nothing major right now. Bouncing ball right side. Prince waits for it. Verlander will cover it. And that'll end the inning. So nothing comes of the leadoff walk. On our way to the bottom of the fourth.
Scored 4 runs against Gio Gonzalez in the second inning. It was a double down the third baseline off the bat of Santiago, which plated a couple. And then Avila plays long ball for the second consecutive day, getting a fastball at 93 away from him that he was able to hit into the Tigers bullpen. And Torrey Hunter, he is just one step ahead of Gio today. First time up, double down the right field line. Second time up, big fly to left.
Our Comerica Bank game summary features a 5-1 Tigers lead as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning now. Santiago, Avila, and then Jackson. Two-run double in his first at bat, rolls that one foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Where'd that one get him?
Looked like it got him right off that pinky, that left pinky toe.
That little piggy's not going to market, that's for sure. Oh, 0-2. Ball high, 1-2 the count. Santiago now with 6 hits in his last 7 games, so he's turning it up. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And Rod, it's probably no coincidence that his numbers have really started to get a little bit better now that he's gotten a little bit more consistent playing time.
The role that Santiago was playing at the beginning of the season is a very difficult role for any player. And Santiago's been good at that reserve role the last few years in a Tigers uniform, but with Infante playing so well and Peralta playing so well, Jim was finding it very difficult to get Santiago reps, which meant he struggled the majority of the first half at the bat.
And the 1-2 outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Gonzalez not really fooling a whole lot of Tigers here today, which is an indication of how good the Tigers offense is as a whole. This guy is one of the best left-handed pitchers in the game of baseball. And his name, you get mentioned in the same breath as Sabathia, Kershaw, Chris Sale.
Well, he was 21-8 last year with an ERA of 2.89, and he finished 3rd in the Cy Young voting last season. R.A. Dickey won it, and then Kershaw was 2nd.
And he had good numbers coming into this game on the road. 3-1, a sub-3 ERA.
And down goes Santiago, tipping it into the glove, strike 3. Well, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. Get a free small order of curly fries. You can find a copy of the box score in your local newspaper or at the Tigers page at foxsportsdetroit.com. We are 2/3 of the way there. We need 1 more. 1 out of Avila. He's already hit 1. 2-run shot back in the second. 0-1 the count on Avila. 6-game hitting streak now for Avila, the longest streak that he's had this year. Gonzalez with the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Nationals have Gonzalez signed through 2016 with options in 17 and 18. The 0-2. Missed outside. Last year he struck out 207, reaching that plateau for the first time in his career. Here's the 1-2. Off the plate. 2-2. 27 years old, out of Hialeah, Florida. You know, the White Sox had this guy twice. They originally drafted him, traded him away, got him back, then traded him again. And he's flourished with the Nationals. And a couple of big years with the Athletics as well. That's low. 3-2. That's what he did last year in the National League. All he did was pick up the most wins over in the NL.
Made the All-Star team. He also made the All-Star team in 2011 when he was with Oakland.
3-2 on Avila. The Tigers got to Gonzalez with 5 in the second inning. The 2 homers we talked about in the Santiago 2-run double. Off the inside part of the plate. He walked him. 1 on, 1 out. First walk of the game for Gonzalez. Here's that AT&T trivia question today. Prior to Alex Avila, who was the last Tigers catcher to hit a grand slam? We'll get you the answer in a little bit. Jackson ground ball to second. Tough play off the glove of Lombardozzi into center. Avila's on his way to third, and he is in there standing up.
Huge misplay there by Lombardozzi. I mean, you have time to take a couple of steps back and catch the ground ball and get the out at second base. He was trying to get 2 on the ground ball off the bat of Jackson before he could get 1. Therefore, he created an unbelievable hop for himself, which he was not able to pick. Here's where you back up, get 1 out, and not try to get a double play there.
First and third, they have ruled it a base hit. Only 1 out. Here's Torrey. Double and a homer for Hunter today.
Torrey has taken a fastball today and hit it down the right field line. He also took a fastball that was up in the zone on the inner third and hit it into his team's bullpen. How will Gio Gonzalez attack Torrey Hunter this time around? It's got to be with an off-speed pitch.
Pinking ball hammered to right field.
Torrey, stop it.
He doesn't care what you throw him.
Smart. I mean, it's just smart hitting. If you watch enough baseball and you know how guys are going to try to attack you, if you have success against them in a prior at bat, guess what? They're going to change. And Torrey took a breaking ball that wasn't a bad pitch and hit an absolute missile to right field for his second RBI of the day.
And his third hit. Avila scores to make it 6-1 Detroit. 52 driven in now for Hunter. Verlander with a comfy lead. They are taking the tarp off the bullpen mound, which means Gonzalez now will have someone throwing in the bullpen behind him. Tuiasosopo looks at ball 1.
Gio Gonzalez has only had 1 start this year where he has given up more than 6 runs. He gave up 7 once this season.
He's on his way. 6 runs on 8 hits for Detroit. Ball inside. Eight hits allowed by Gonzalez and 6 earned runs. Runners go. Shattered bat, rolled left field. Base hit. That'll get a run in. Jackson comes around to score. Torrey goes to third. And it's an RBI for Tuiasosopo. (7-1) Detroit.
Everything going right for the Tigers. It's a 2-0 pitch there where Jackson was stealing third base. Tuiasosopo gets sawed in half, but still strong enough to muscle that ball past their shortstop, Ian Desmond, for a base hit and an RBI.
Well, the Tigers last night put up 5 on Strasburg. They have put up 7 here today on Gio Gonzalez. Davey Johnson making a quick trip out to the mound as we get some activity in the bullpen now. Ross Ohlendorf warming up.
Davey Johnson usually does not make trips to the mound unless he's going to take the pitcher out. But apparently he wanted to check on Gio Gonzalez to see how he was feeling because he's not accustomed to him giving up 7 runs in any start.
First and third. And now here is Prince Fielder. And it's a strike called, 0-1. Fielder, a fly ball and a strikeout. Tigers have 7 runs on 9 hits. And Gonzalez missed outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. RBI hits by Hunter and Tuiasosopo. He missed again. 2-1. Pitch count now at 72 here in the 4th inning for Gio Gonzalez. Missed again. 3-1. Victor Martinez waiting on deck. Here's the 3-1. Fouled straight back. 3 balls, 2 strikes. It all started with a walk by Avila here with 1 out in the 4th, and then 3 consecutive hits. Fielder trying to tack on some more. 7-1 Detroit. Runner was on the move, and it's lined down the left field side, and it's going to get back into the seats. 3-2 on Prince. 5 runs second, 2 run 4th, and now 75 for Gio Gonzalez. Sounded like another broken bat. Going to drop in. Base hit. Score another run. Tuiasosopo goes to third, and the Tigers are piling on now. 8-1 ball game. Prince gets his 76th RBI, and all Gonzalez can do is smile.
And Prince takes ownership of that batter's box about as well as any left-hand batter in the game, and that's a good fastball inside, but he doesn't give an inch with that front shoulder and able to muscle that ball over the head of Lombardozzi for his first base hit of the day.
4 straight hits after the walk to Avila. That's 10 Tigers hits and a 7-run lead. Victor shoots one to right field. That's going to drop in. Base hit.
Davey Johnson will have to go get Gio Gonzalez, and this is going to be his shortest outing of the year.
Doesn't appear to have any choice at this point. 9-1 Detroit. And that sparkling ERA that Gio Gonzalez had coming in is going to take a hit here today. And here comes Davey Johnson. He will indeed go to the bullpen. Tigers turning in another big inning. And Gonzalez has given up some broken bat hits today. He's given up a couple of homers, a little mixed bag. But he'll hit the showers. So Wallside Windows pitching change. Tigers up 9-1. We'll be back. Detroit Red Wings 10-game plan. Go to FoxSportsDetroit.com for complete details and enter for a chance to win. Tigers all over. Gio Gonzalez today. Christmas in July here at the ballpark. That's the promotion today. 3 1/3. Shortest outing of the year. 9 runs allowed. Season high.
He also had one outing last year, his first year in a Washington Nationals uniform, where he pitched just 3 1/3 innings.
Ross Ohlendorf taking over now for Washington.
Good numbers for Ohlendorf. He's got a fastball that will get up to 94 miles an hour. He's got a nice little tight slider, and also a changeup that he really likes.
Johnny looks at a strike 0-1. Peralta double and a fly ball. Ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Five straight hits for the Tigers following a 1-out walk from Alex Avila. And Gio Gonzalez bounced out of the game. Driven to center field. Span runs it down. Peralta is out, and the runners will hold. Ohlendorf's been around a while. Broke in back in 2007 with the Yankees. He's also pitched in Pittsburgh and San Diego. 30-year-old veteran out of Austin, Texas. This will be the second time in this game the Tigers will bat around. 9 men at the plate as Hernan Perez stands in. .273 batting average for Perez. 0 for 2 in the game. Fouls that one off 0-1. That'll make it strike 2. 0-2 the count. Last time the Tigers batted around, it was the second when they put up 5 runs on Gonzalez. Hit a couple of homers in that frame. And a good stop there by Suzuki to hold the runners. Tigers came into this game leading the major leagues in on-base percentage and batting average. They were hitting .280 as a team coming in, and they put up 11 hits today. Verlander is the recipient of all the offense today. And a 1-2. Ooh, inside and high, backs Perez out of there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Low and away, 3-2. Ohlendorf at one time was a starter over in the National League with Pittsburgh. Won 11 ball games for the Pirates in 09. There's a line drive to right, base hit. Fielder coming to third. They're going to wave him home. Worth Stroh will go back to third base. It's an RBI single for Hernan Perez. And the hits just keep on coming. His 5th RBI of the year. 10-1 ball game. That run belongs to Gio Gonzalez.
Tigers have a really solid approach today. And they had one against Gonzalez. A lot of the base hits that he gave up to the right-handers and the left-handers were the opposite way, and that's a really nice approach there by the youngster Hernan Perez.
Second time that Santiago bats in this inning. Ball 1 inside. 10 runs on 12 Detroit hits. Ramon contributed a 2-run double back in the second. Way high, 2-0. A couple of 5 spots for the Tigers here this afternoon, and now time is called. Davey Johnson coming out with the trainer to check on Ohlendorf. I don't know if Suzuki spotted something.
Looked like their shortstop Ian Desmond may have spotted something. He was the first one to come in.
They had to go to the bullpen early in this game with Gonzalez being knocked out of this game, and now it appears that Ohlendorf is coming out with an injury, so they are getting somebody out of the bullpen quickly here. And that's going to be it for Ohlendorf. He will depart with a 2-0 count on Santiago and a wall-side windows pitching change as they sort it out. We'll be back. Back to the bullpen. Gonzalez knocked out, and now Ohlendorf has to leave. Here's that last pitch that he threw.
And shortstop Ian Desmond could tell that something was wrong with Ohlendorf, and he kind of shrugged his shoulders, and there comes Desmond. And then Davey Johnson, the trainer, followed after that.
So Ohlendorf departs the scene, and back to the bullpen they go to bring in Craig Stammen. And he will get his warm-up pitches on the mound now as he tries to get loose. 36th appearance for Stammen, who last year appeared out of the bullpen 59 times for Davey Johnson and had an ERA of 2.34. Tigers have another 10-run game, which gives them 13 now, tying them with the St. Louis Cardinals for the most in the major leagues. And Rod, we've talked about how this offense has been really good, but it's starting really now to click, it appears.
Well, they've got some really good players. Victor Martinez has really stepped it up in the month of July. Hunter, Jackson, Miggy, Prince, they've been there every step of the way, along with Johnny Peralta. And now Avila's bat starting to perk up there at the latter third of that batting order. It's just been really good for them.
So the Tigers enjoying a large lead in this one. Still a long way to go in this contest as Stammen continues to warm up. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen back here at Comerica Park as we wrap up this series. The Tigers, Rod, trying to sweep the Nationals out of town. It's been a really good homestand. You know, Jim Leland said something before the game today. Said, you know, it seems like when we play teams that are struggling, we beat them, we just don't get enough credit. You know, they felt that the Philadelphia Phillies were in a rough stretch, and now the Nationals don't hit all that well, but they're beating some pretty good teams here, and still a win is a win.
Well, Jim knows he has a great team, and one of the toughest things for Jim to do is every spring training when they assemble down in Lakeland, Florida, is to get these guys motivated because they know they're good. David Dombrowski's put a great group together, and sometimes they don't get the credit they deserve when they beat up on good teams.
How about Verlander today? He has not been especially crisp, but he's been supportive with a lot of runs, and so far has done a pretty good job.
He's taken some steps forward. I mean, there's still a lot of work there to do with Verlander, obviously, because he doesn't look like himself out there. But we showed you a little earlier where his head may be a little violence in his delivery. Looks like he may have corrected a few of those. I like the aggressiveness with his fastball inside, though. He's gotten him some easy outs on fastballs in.
Verlander's enjoying all the attention here offensively today. Alex Avila is also starting to perk up. He's had a big home run in this game. Torrey has hit a home run, but maybe more importantly now, Avila back-to-back games now showing some life with the bat.
Well, when Avila's going well, I mean, he's driving the ball the other way, left center field. He did that today with a homer the opposite way. He did homer off Strasburg yesterday, but he was looking for that 2-1 fastball that he got at 94, which he got out in front of and hit to right field. But it's a positive sign to see Avila's bat perk up because defensively, he's been really good all year.
You know, the Tigers yesterday, it's funny, they put up 5 on Strasburg. Of course, 4 came on the grand slam by Avila, and they put up 10 today on Gio Gonzalez. I mean, sometimes you just can't figure out baseball.
You know, when the season began, I mean, when you start talking about some of the better teams from a pitching standpoint, their top 3 is really good with Zimmerman, Strasburg, and Gio, and they beat up on 2 of their top 3. They got Strasburg yesterday for 5 runs, and they've tacked a 10 spot today on Gio.
And it could be more because Victor Martinez still his property down at second base. So Stammen will take over with a count of 2-0 after the injury by Ohlendorf. Santiago looks at a strike, 2-1. Ramon struck out to start the inning, had a 2-run double back in the second. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. 9 men to the plate back in the second and 10 men to the plate here in the fourth. Here's the 3-1. That's in there. 3-2 on Ramon. Avila would be next. It's been a lengthy sit down because of the offense and the injury to Ohlendorf. Verlander anxious to get back out there. 3-2 with the runners going. Ball 4 that loads the bases. And now Alex Avila again. He walked and scored earlier in the inning. Tigers put together 5 consecutive hits after the Avila walk. That walk, by the way, is charged to Ollendorf. Base loaded. 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Strike called. Homer and a walk for Avila's 6-game hitting streak now for Alex, and he's done great work in the month of July with men in scoring position. The 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Stammen has a fastball that will go anywhere from 90 to 93 miles an hour. He also has a slider that he likes a lot, and he throws it very often. A curveball and a changeup, but he does not throw the changeup very often. For the most part, just the 3 pitches coming out of the hand of Stammen: curve, slider, fastball.
And the 1-1. Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Been a long day for Davy Johnson. It's been a long series for Davy Johnson. And his Nationals came in 10 games back in the National League East. It's not faring much better today. 10 runs on 12 Detroit hits. Here's the 2-1. 2-2. There's been a trade apparently that has gotten in under the wire. Arizona Diamondbacks have traded away Ian Kennedy to San Diego. Joe Thatcher and a prospect coming back to the Diamondbacks. And again, the trading deadline is just a little over an hour away, 4 p.m. Central. Swing and a miss, and Avila is out of there to finally end the inning, but it's a 5-run 4th inning for the Tigers. They knock Gio Gonzalez out of this game, and we go to the 5th inning. With Shannon Hogan.
Hi, you guys. Well, we're celebrating Christmas in July today at Comerica Park. On Saturday, another great tradition, Fiesta Tigres. And something new this year, all the Tigers will be wearing these new jerseys. You can get them in the D shop if you want. They say Tigres on the front. They'll have the player's name and number on the back. If you've never been here for Fiesta Tigres, it's a great time at the ballpark to celebrate the Hispanic and Latino players in the game and to encourage kids to get into the game of baseball as well. They're going to have music and dancing down here at Comerica Park and all kinds of fun celebrations, so you're not going to want to miss it. That is this Saturday against the White Sox here at Comerica Park. And I have to say, this might be one of my favorite specialty jerseys, you guys. What do you think?
That's very nice. Muchas gracias, Shannon. It's a great play down there at second base by Perez, but he's not going to be able to throw out Denard Span.
She would come out with the Fiesta Tigres uniform with the big guy's number on the back.
Why not? That does not shock you, does it?
It does not shock me.
So the leadoff man is on here. Verlander going back to the hill with a rather comfy lead now, 10-1.
What's Shannon doing here today? Isn't she getting ready for the Dancing with the All-Stars tomorrow?
No, she's all good to go.
She good?
She's had her lessons. She's mastered it. She's going to be fabulous tomorrow. That is only the third hit of the game for Washington. Bryce Harper stands in. Verlander missing, 1 ball, no strikes.
You're right. I guess she's got all her work in.
See, look at those moves.
Hollywood, here we come.
In slow-mo.
With a little point there at the end.
Do it, Shannon. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes on Bryce Harper. Verlander gave up a run in the first. Sac fly to Jason Worth, and so far that's been it. Harper in the game, a single and a pop-up. Sliced toward left field, going to drop. Base hit off the end of the bat. So Harper now singles to put 2 men on. One long ago that Bryce was selected in the draft. That was back in 2010. Look at some of the notable first-round selections that year.
Some really good players. Some guys that made all-star teams this year. And Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, Matt Harvey, and also Chris Sale.
So my question to you is, if you had to pick one of these guys to start a franchise, who would you go with?
Without having seen Matt Harvey, I'm going to go Manny Machado right now. I think he's going to be a real good shortstop for about a decade for the Baltimore Orioles. He's going to hit 300, about 15 to 20 homers a year, 30 doubles, and driving a lot of runs. I really like his skill set. I love Bryce Harper as well. He's a great player too. I think he might have to tone his game down just a little bit so he can stay healthy and stay on the field, which is very, very difficult to get a young player to do.
Zimmerman could not hold up there, 0-2. Yeah, hard to go wrong with any of those guys. Certainly Sale has been impressive. We haven't seen Harvey yet.
Hopefully we get a chance to see Harvey later this month.
Yeah, we go to Citi Field for a 3-game series against the Mets.
He throws 100 miles an hour.
0-2. Broken bat roller towards second. Perez fires to second. One relay to first. Got him a double play.
That is the 12th twin killing that Jordan has hit into this year. Excuse me, not Jordan, but Zimmerman. They do have a Jordan, and he's a Zimmerman as well. Nice feed by Perez to Peralta.
2 gone now with the runner at third.
Who are you taking on that 2010 draft list we just put up?
Well, it's really hard to pick from those guys. I would probably go Machado by a thin margin as well. Harvey, as you say, we have not seen him pitch live yet. And Sale is extremely impressive. Harper, you're right. You just wonder with the way he plays. I mean, it's 100% every single day that if, he's not going to be able to stay healthy, that's certainly going to hurt his chances. I'd go with Machado. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. There are concerns with Chris Sale about his build physically and whether or not he can withstand year after year after year of pitching at that level.
He also has a little violence in his delivery, Chris Sale.
Jason Worth is batting .304. Sac fly and a walk. 10-1 Detroit. We're in the 5th. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball in for a strike, 1-2. Less than an hour remaining now in the trade deadline. 59 minutes. Heading up to 4 o'clock Eastern. And the 1-2. Checked. They will appeal. I don't think he went. He did not.
Cleveland hasn't done a whole lot. Did they get Mark Chepchinsky? How do you say his name?
Zepchinsky?
Is it a Zep?
It's a Zepchinsky. They got him yesterday.
Zepchinsky.
Yeah. I think they sent Vinny Pastano down.
He's been scuffling a little bit.
Yeah. Which is hard to believe based on what he had done the past couple of years. Here's the 2-2. Ball high. 3-2 now on Worth. The Indians made a lot of their moves in the offseason, retooling their offense, bringing in a new manager.
Today is the perfect game for someone like Verlander, who's trying to find his way through and get his mechanics together and get his confidence and his swagger back. He's got a 9-run spread. He's just walked his 5th batter of the game, but he can work on some things out there with the large lead.
He has scattered the 4 hits, but as you mentioned, 5 walks. One guy that has struggled against him is this guy here, LaRoche. He has struck him out a couple of times. And each time there were 2 men on base, so LaRoche again comes up with 2 men on base. Ball 1. That is pitch number 86 for Verlander today. Checked it. Strike called. 1-1.
Xfinity is telling us that Verlander's best fastball today with velocity has been 97 miles an hour, 79 with his curveball.
Breaking ball in for a strike. 1-2.
He's thrown a few good curveballs today.
Missed with that one, and Verlander wanted it. A long look in for Brian Gorman, who did not give it to him. Where was it?
Looked like a real good pitch. It's not where it's caught by Avila, but it's where it crosses a home plate, and it was clearly high enough across the knees of LaRoche.
Now again he's gone 3-2.
Just about every pitch and this pitch sequence to LaRoche has been an off-speed pitch. We'll see if he comes back with a fastball. He struck him out with a good fastball up around the letters the last time LaRoche was in that batter's box.
That is 6 3-ball counts down for Verlander. Runner on the move from first and away, going to miss to strike him out. LaRoche fans for the 3rd time today, and again he leaves 2 men on base. Bottom of the 5th inning coming up. You're watching Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. taste of Arby's Mighty Minis today. Arby's slicing up freshness. And by Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price period. Bell Tire. Back here at the ballpark, the Tigers on top 10-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Austin Jackson is starting things off for Detroit. Jackson, Hunter, Tuiasa Sopo facing the right-hander Craig Stammen. Big swing and a miss there, 0-2. The Tigers have had 2 5-run innings in this contest today.
A total of 12 knocks so far put on the board by the Tigers offense. Every single starting member of the lineup today has at least 1 hit.
Stammen had to come on for Ohlendorf, who was injured, who replaced Gio Gonzalez, and Alex Avila got Gonzalez for a 2-run homer back in the 2nd. Tigers with a couple of long balls. Torrey has the other. Here's Stammen's 0-2. Checked it, and he went strike 3. 1 away in the 5th. That'll bring up Torrey Hunter. Stammen played his college ball at Dayton. Big right-hander. He, in fact, is the all-time strikeouts leader at Dayton. Here's Torrey. Hunter has a single, double, and a homer. As to check out the box score, Torrey 3 for 3. Martinez couple of hits.
Torrey Hunter now has 40 multi-hit games this year. 40 of them.
Bouncing ball to short. Backhanded there by Desmond. That's the first time they get Hunter.
And the only player in the American League that has more multi-hit games than Torrey is the young man that he mentored last year in Los Angeles, Mike Trout.
Trout's got 42.
Torrey has been a tremendous mentor to a lot of young players throughout his illustrious 17-year big league career.
Here's Tuiasa Sopo with 2 outs. By the way, because of what the Tigers did to Gio Gonzalez today, Gonzalez, who came in with an ERA of 2.97, has watched it balloon to 3.57.
American League, no joke.
Tui looks at a ball in. 2-0 on Tuiasa Sopo. Single to drive in a run in the big 4th inning. 1 for 3 for Matt. Here's the 2-0. 3-0. It's amazing how the Tigers offense just has not been able to, or has not skipped a beat with Cabrera sitting down today. And they've done pretty well in his absence. Just really don't want to make it a habit.
No, no, you don't.
Here's the 3-0. That strike knocked the mask off of Kurt Suzuki. Check this out. 3-1. There's a walk. 2 out base on balls for Tuiasa Sopo. Bring up Prince Fielder. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. It's going to be tough to pick the Miller moment of the game, don't you think?
At this point, yes.
A lot of candidates for that. Here's Prince. Skies one in the air to center. Straight into Nard Span. That'll end the inning. 5 in the books here at the ballpark. We'll be going to the 6th inning. Christmas in July here at Comerica. Verlander and the Tigers comfortably ahead.
Pitch. Justin Verlander has thrown some really good breaking balls today. Probably the best breaking ball he's had in the last few starts. He's still struggling with that fastball command, however, although he has thrown some real good fastballs inside, which I've been really encouraged by, because when you throw 95, 96, you may as well go inside with a good four-seam fastball every now and then.
So Verlander goes back to the hill here in the 6th inning. Ian Desmond will start things off for the Nationals. You look at the numbers on JV. 5 walks and 5 strikeouts in 5 innings, but bottom line only 1 run. Desmond, a walk, a steal, and a ground out. In for strike 1. Desmond last year hit a career high 25 home runs. He got 16 more this year. Now the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Verlander has had only one 1-2-3 inning in this game. That was back in the 2nd. With 2 men on in the 5th inning, got a double play ball. And the 0-2. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
This more than likely is going to be Justin's last inning, and if you're Jeff Jones, the pitching coach, and if you're the skipper, Jim Leyland, you'd love to see him finish off with a really clean inning, throwing some really good quality strikes.
Now time given to Desmond as Verlander started the windup. It's always nice to go out, if this indeed is his last inning, with a nice clean inning, good feeling, despite the 5 walks today. Here's the 2-2. 97 that time for Verlander. I mentioned the Tigers have had quality starts in 11 of their last 14. They would need an inning here from JV to give them 6. Qualify for a quality start. Here's the 2-2. Instead he'll step off.
We might have to revisit that quality start.
You don't like it, do you?
Well, I mean, 5 walks.
Yeah, that's a good point. Even if he goes 6 innings, 1 run. Inside again with a heater that came up and in 3-2. 7 3-ball counts in this game now. That's part of the reason why Verlander is hovering around 100 pitches. He's 3 shy. And the 3-2. And Desmond had a rip there. Only 4 hits allowed by Verlander. 12 hits for the Tigers. Rendon and then Suzuki to follow here in the top of the 6th. Breaking ball hammered back out of play. Verlander threw 103 in his last start to get through 6 innings. He's at 99 right now, with nobody out in the 6th. Of course, JV allowed 7 runs in that last start. And he got him straight 3. Finally took care of him with a breaking ball. Desmond is out of there.
Well located slider there thrown by Verlander. At 87 miles an hour, that's good velocity. Last start against the White Sox, Verlander, he had a slider all the way up to 92 miles an hour, which is way too hard.
High fly ball left field, hit well. Tuiasosopo back to the track in front of the wall to make the catch. Rendon is out of there, 2 away. Time for a game break now. Here is Mickey York. Still time indeed. Here's what the Central Division standings look like. Thank you, Mick. 2.5 game spread between the Tigers and the Indians. Corey Kluber's been pretty good this year for the Tribe.
He's got good stuff.
Strike called on Kurt Suzuki. Verlander in search of the 1-2-3 frame. Suzuki is 0 for 2, fly ball and a ground out. Here's the 0-1. Ground ball to third. Right there is Santiago. And there's your 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Brought to you by 5-Hour Energy Shots. Whoa. Getting dizzy. Stop it. 10-1 in favor of Detroit as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. That's how fast Ron Allen drives right here.
Not at all.
Justin Verlander able to navigate through 6 innings of work. Walked 5 in this game.
Here is today's high-speed stat that's brought to you by Charter Internet. The first 3 months of the season, Victor Martinez was not doing a very good job against all-speed pitches. The batting average at 144. But in the month of July, as he has started to hit more fastballs, he has gotten more breaking balls, and he's in a much better balance position these days. Therefore, the batting average up to 347 in the month of July against off-speed pitches.
Well, he's had 2 more hits today. RBI single in the 4th. He's also scored a run, starting things off here in the 6th inning. 10-1 Detroit. Martinez will be followed by Peralta, then Perez. Shot to the shortstop and snagged there by Desmond. Hard hit out for Martinez. 1 gone. He's going to bring up Peralta. Tigers trying to stay perfect on this homestand. They swept the Phils, trying to sweep Washington. And the next victim will be Chicago. Ball inside, backing Peralta out of there. 10 runs, 12 hits today for the Tigers. 1 run, 4 hits for the Nationals. They've stranded 7. Johnny with a double and a run scored. 2-0. Phil Koch in the Detroit bullpen. Here's the 2-0 pitch. 2-1. Greg Stammen came on in the long fourth inning that the Nationals had to endure. Gonzalez knocked out of the game. Ollendorf left with an injury. Stammen got him through the fifth and now pitching here in the sixth. Here is what is coming up for the Tigers. How about that next road trip we got coming up?
It's a long one, and those 4 days in Cleveland will be critical, and for both clubs. And Tigers can create some distance between themselves and the Indians, or the Indians can simply make up some ground.
Bouncer to third. Rendon. 2 gone.
Tigers really haven't had a difficult time of beating the Indians this year, whether it be here at Comerica Park or in their own yard.
Jim Leland has asked this question oftentimes throughout the course of the year. When do you believe the pennant race really kicks into gear?
Probably for me about the 15th of August.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Halfway through the month of August. September, certainly it's in high gear, but we're getting there. Perez fouls it off.
I will say this much: it's a lot easier to come to the ballpark with a great attitude when you're in a position like the Tigers are versus where the Phillies were and this Nationals team. Both were picked to win quite a few games this year in their respective division.
Swing and a miss. 0-2. Well, it is quite shocking to see that coming into play today, Washington 10 out, Phillies 11.5 out. Atlanta cruising right now in that division, the National League East. 1-2 on Perez. Hernan singled in a run in the fourth inning, which the Tigers scored 5 times. Bouncer right back to the mound. Stammen will handle this one, and it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning. So we'll go to the 7th here at the ballpark. Tigers in control today. Some of the sights and sounds in what has been a fabulous day here at the ballpark today for the Tigers. They lead 10-1 as we check out our game summary. Back-to-back games for Alex Avila with home runs. Torrey Hunter has had himself a good game, 3 out of 4. And Verlander goes 6. He walks 5 and strikes out 6, but gives up just 1 run. And As a result, the Tigers go to the 7th inning, and they will bring in now Phil Koch to pitch.
Hey, they need to get Phil Koch straightened out as well. He's taking some signs and some steps into getting better this year. He is much better than a 5.46 earned run average. Phil's got a fastball that will touch 95. He's got a good breaking ball and also a decent changeup.
Steve Lombardozzi looks at a strike to start things off here in the 7th.
Most of Koch's work lately has come against left-handed batters, but seeing a right-hander here.
Don Kelly has taken over at first base. Fielder out of the game. Fouled off. 0-2 the count.
Jim probably would have taken the luxury of taking Torrey Hunter out of the game too, but what is he, a triple away from the cycle today?
He is. And Torrey will certainly get one more at bat. He has the double, then the homer, then the single. Here's the 0-2. Popped him up. Koch is calling for it, but Kelly says get out of the way. 1 out. That'll bring up Span. Phil points straight up, then he calls for it. Kelly says, I got it.
He tried, though.
He did.
He tried.
Here's Denard Span. 2 out of 2 today for Span, plus a walk and a run scored. Strike called on Denard. Came in batting .266. Average now at .269.
Justin Verlander is going to run his record to 21-2 against the National League since coming to the big leagues in interleague play. 21-2.
That's just out of control good. I know he wasn't really sharp today and certainly had to struggle through some innings and labor, but you know, they put this one away, and for him to have that kind of record against the National League.
And the ERA coming into this contest was 2.68, so it's going to go down a little bit.
1-1 on Denard Span. 1 out in the 7th. He slices one towards short. Peralta backhands him. Out at first base, 2 gone. Well, don't forget MLB.com at bat is celebrating 5 years as the #1 mobile app for live baseball. It's available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10, just about anything you have. At Bat delivers Tigers baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, highlights, more. Text at bat to 31826. Bryce Harper with 2 outs. 2 out of 3 today for Harper. Fouled off 0-1. Only 20 years of age. Harper winning the Rookie of the Year last year in the National League. He played only about 130 games in the minor leagues before he forced his way onto the big league roster.
The fans love Bryce Harper as well. He was a starter at the All-Star game in New York despite not having All-Star type numbers and having spent some time on the DL.
And in doing so became the youngest All-Star starter in National League history. Al Albuquerque in the Detroit bullpen. The 1-1. 1-2 on Harper.
And a good breaking ball there. Stayed inside on Harper. Harper swung too hard. He hurt himself.
He's feeling it right now. Gingerly walked out of the box. Bent over a little bit. Bending over again.
Davey Johnson's been a busy manager today.
Here comes the trainer. Harper's already been on the DL. 2 out, nobody on. Koch here in the 7th, trying to take care of Harper. He's ahead 1-2. Fouled back. Harper still does not appear right. Back into the box he goes. Koch in search of the perfect 1-2-3 here in the 7th. And he'll get it. Swing and a miss. Harper is out of there. It is indeed a 1-2-3 frame for Phil Koch, who marches off the mound. And we go to the stretch. Bottom of the 7th coming up. 10-1 Detroit. Brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, the official window company of Fox Sports Detroit. Christmas in July here at the ballpark today. Christmas for the Tigers offense. They have 10 runs on 12 hits. So in the bottom of the 7th, here come the Tigers. Santiago will lead things off. And he looks at a strike. New pitcher is left-hander Ian Kroll.
Another hard thrower out of that Nationals bullpen. Kroll's got a fastball that will get to 95. He also has a curveball, a changeup, and he also will cut the fastball in the low 90s. Got his first major league win on Thursday against the Pirates. We got him for the Athletics. There's a ball low, 2-1 the count. March 20th they got him for the A's. Player to be named later in the Mike Morse deal. Here's the 2-1. In there for a strike, 2-2. Hinsdale, Illinois is where Ian Kroll was born. And the 2-2 fouled straight back. Tigers scored 5 in the 2nd and really piled on in the 4th with 5 more. Looking to sweep the National League out of town on this homestand. Swept the Phillies and now on their way to doing the same here to the National. Tigers have done nice work this year against the American League. The National League East. And when the Atlanta Braves rolled through here, they didn't do very well against Tigers pitching either.
Tigers overall again against the National League. Trying to go to 9-5. And there's a walk. Santiago. Leadoff man on.
Good sign last couple of days. Alex Avila's bat starting to perk up. Hit a grand slam last night, the first grand slam of his career, and he hit it against a pretty good pitcher, Steven Strasburg. I'm sure some of you have heard of him. Then he got himself a fastball that was down and away from him against the starter today, Gio Gonzalez, and hit one the opposite way into the Tigers bullpen.
It was his 8th home run, extending his hitting streak to 6 in a row. Strike one. There's that AT&T trivia question prior to Avila. Who was the last Tigers catcher to hit a slam? And the answer is, that would be Pudge Rodriguez.
The little pudgy one.
April of 2007 against KC. Waving to miss, 0-2.
And Pudge Rodriguez just last month in July went into the Texas Rangers Hall of Fame, where he started his career, making all-star teams and winning Gold Gloves.
What a player. 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Where's Pudge rank on the list of great players you have seen play here in Detroit? He's got to be close to the top, doesn't he?
Well, he changed the culture here when he signed in 2004, because he had nowhere else to go. But the Tigers got themselves a gamer when Pudge Rodriguez decided to sign a contract to come here.
There's a base hit to center. Avila gets himself another hit. His second of the game. 2 on, nobody out. He's going to bring up Austin Jackson.
Avila got himself a breaking ball at the top of the zone and didn't really try to do a whole lot with it. Just a really nice, easy, simple swing by Avila. Yeah, Pudge Rodriguez will be right up there. I mean, he's one of the best catchers of all time.
You know who I thought was a better player than I anticipated he would be when the Tigers got him? And you see him play every day, was Sheffield. Gary Sheffield, and what he could do on the field, and not just with the bat, but the type of base runner he was.
He had real good base running instincts, and he also hit 500 home runs in his career. Polanco was a pretty good Tiger.
Yep, absolutely. Fouled back out of play.
Of course, you don't really even have to mention Miggy's name. I mean, he's at the top of the list.
Yeah, he didn't count. I mean, he's an automatic. Less than 20 minutes to the trading deadline. Time's almost up. If you want to make a deal. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Cliff Lee was one of the hot names with the Phillies to be able to trade him, but he comes with a hefty price tag, and the Phils are going to want a lot of really good young players. Into left field, straight Ed Harper. We'll bring up Torrey Hunter.
It's been a very busy day for Torrey Hunter. He got a fastball from Gonzalez his first time up and ripped it down in the right field corner for a double. And then he got himself a fastball up in the zone. This one he tried to get inside, did Gonzalez, and he didn't. And Torrey hit it into the Tigers bullpen. Then he singled again in the game. So real nice day today by Torrey Hunter.
He needs a triple for the cycle. If he can shoot one to right center field to have a shot. The last Tigers cycle was in 06. Carlos Guillen against the Rays. And the winning pitcher that day, Justin Verlander. So maybe it's meant to be. Let's see. Ooh, strike call. And Torrey says, huh? 1-1. .314 batting average now for Torrey. Another multi-hit game, his 40th of the year. Shoot that one to right field, slicing away from Worth. It's going to drop, another hit, go to the corner.
He's going to get it.
Torrey on his way to second. He's coming to third. No, they're going to hold him up.
No.
Throw back to second, and he's out.
Tommy, he threw
Brookins. Let him go.
Oh, man, that thing had tripled. Whether or not he was going to make it, I don't know. But
No, he was smelling it, though, but Tommy Brookins held up Avila at third base, and then Torrey had to put the brakes on.
Ah, well. Torrey still has a 4-hit game.
Take a look at Torrey here. He knows what he needs. He knows he needs the triple.
Oh, yeah, he was busting it out of the box.
Oh, he's thinking triple right now. And he thought Avila was going to score, but once he got held up, Torrey was about 10 steps on the shortstop side of second base and got picked off there. He's not looking at Tom Brookins or nothing.
Now, Brookins is also considering the fact that it's now 11-1. And so he held up Avila at third base. 9-4-6 on the out. 3 RBIs today, though, for Torrey. That's skied to shallow center field, and it's going to be caught by the second baseman Lombardozzi to end the inning. Tigers get one more.
Over the Nationals, and Torrey Hunter making a bid to hit for his first cycle in his big league career, and it looked like he was going to get there. Avila, you could see him rounding second. Tommy Brookins, you could see the hands go up, and therefore Torrey didn't see Tom Brookins put the hands up, and when they got to the dugout, he's like, Tommy, what happened? What happened, he said.
Tommy's like, look, dude, it's 11-1. Torrey's like, but yeah, man, that's a cycle. Ah, well, doesn't matter. Tigers up by 10. That's what really matters right now. And Torrey himself has a 4-hit game anyway with 3 RBIs. Al Albuquerque has come on out of the Tigers bullpen. Ryan Zimmerman will start things off as we go to the 8th. In for strike one.
Al has that fastball that will get up to 96 miles an hour. He's got that really good slider. 25 walks total this year for Albuquerque. Tigers would love to see that number kind of stay right where it's at.
Nasty pitch, 0-2. Zimmerman, Worth, LaRoche here in the 8th. Phil Koch, a 1-2-3 7th. 6 innings out of Verlander today. Off the end of the bat. Back to the on-deck circle. Double play ball, pop up and a walk for their number 3 hitter, Zimmerman. Tigers have out hit them today 14-4. And Al just missed outside with a fastball that time. 1-2. Well, the bullpen was fortified with the addition of Jose Veras. But even with his addition, make no mistake, they'll still need good outings from Smiley and Rondon and Albuquerque. It's flared down the right field line, foul, and back out of play. You were touching on this a little bit earlier, Rod, with the trade that brought Iglesias here and Veras here. You seem to think that that makes a statement to the players in the clubhouse, and it has an effect at the trading deadline.
Oh, no question about that. I mean, you're fighting all year long, and there might be one or two pieces that you need to get yourself over the hump. The Tigers really didn't need to go out and do a lot in that bullpen, so they went out and got Jose Veras. He came rather cheap. Payroll didn't go up. They also didn't spend much money in acquiring Iglesias. He's a very young player that they'll have under control for the next 4 years. So it's a deal that David Dabrowski made and didn't give up more payroll.
Iglesias can play second, third, short, and obviously with the uncertainty surrounding Johnny Peralta, he becomes a valuable asset. There's a bouncer back up the middle. Johnny ranging left. And out at first base is Zimmerman.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there speculating about Johnny Peralta, and that's all it is speculation. I mean, to confirm anything as far as he's concerned would be premature and not very professional on our parts.
5'11", 175 out of Havana, Cuba, which is also the native country of Brian Pena. So naturally, the media surrounded Pena today saying, hey, what can you tell us about Mr. Iglesias?
When Dustin Pedroia was here with the Boston Red Sox, and this is what, just maybe a few weeks ago, I asked him point blank about Iglesias, and all Dustin Pedroia could do was start to shake his head and said, dude, you have to see this guy play.
Really?
No, seriously. I mean, he was shaking his head in that kind of shake, whereas this guy with the glove is unbelievable. And you're talking about a guy in Pedroia who is outstanding with the glove himself.
Right. Looking forward to seeing him play. Another piece for Jim Leland. 1-1. Rolled foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Also by adding Iglesias, I mean, he's not a burner by any stretch of the imagination, but when he does play, and Jim's going to have a few more options at his disposal. There's still a base. Put a runner in motion.
No, it's a good point. He is not a burner in that he will steal you 25 to 30 bases, but he can get you 10 to 15. Right back to the mound. Al throws down the glove. Worth just kind of flicks the bat and heads back to the bench. 2 outs.
Something else the Tigers do a lot of. They throw lots of ground balls. I mean, look at the percentage of ground balls thrown this year. I mean, Tigers at the top of that list. So anybody that you can add and that can catch that baseball is greatly going to help those numbers increase.
Nearly 60% ground ball percentage. 2 outs, and here is LaRoche. Pops this one up, foul ground. Santiago giving chase. Will they have room? He will. 1, 2, 3 innings out of Coke and Albuquerque.
by head and shoulders. And Justin Verlander, Tigers ace, took the mound this afternoon. He had 6 strikeouts in the game. He had a really good curveball, which he got 3 strikeouts on. He also got 3 strikeouts on real good firm fastballs in the mid-90s. He did walk 5, however, in this game, so I'm sure that Justin will continue to tweak whatever he needs to tweak to make sure the next time he gets the ball, that base on balls number decreases.
Well, the Nationals have gone back to the bullpen. Ryan Matthews is the new pitcher.
He's got some run and some sink to his fastball that will go anywhere from 91 to 94. He's got a splitter that he throws quite often. Also a slider and a cut fastball.
So Matthews replaces Kroll, who replaced Stammen. And Roger Bernardina now has taken over and left for Bryce Harper. Don Kelly gets his first at bat of this game. Took over for Prince Fielder defensively.
Different spelling of the last name of Matthews instead of the W. It's a U.
Matthews. Pronounced Matthews. The 1-0 is lifted in the air toward left center field. Bernardina is on the run. He is tested immediately. 1 gone. Well, it's not too far away. It's Tigers Live postgame. You'll hear from manager Jim Leland, all the players as well. Plus, we'll break down this game, show you the highlights. Tigers Live immediately after the game right here on Fox Sports Detroit. And the skipper is staring at a 5-game winning streak for his club as Evan Reed begins to warm up. Martinez, 2 hits and an RBI. Ball 1.
The Cleveland Indians will play a little bit later on tonight in Cleveland against the Chicago White Sox. They're getting ready to start batting practice down in Cleveland, and knowing that they will need to win today to stay at 2.5 games behind the Tigers.
Both teams getting hot right now. It's down the left field line, foul. Trading deadline just about here. Less than 5 minutes to go.
There always seems to be a flurry of deals that come in right after the trade deadline. But you're telling me that have the rules changed this year, whereas everything has to be complete when we get past 4 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, they can be announced afterwards, but you've got to have all the paperwork done. Hey, Tony La Russa is here today.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
He and Dave Dombrowski, they go way back. I mean, they go back to Chicago White Sox days back in 1978 when La Russa was a real young manager in the minor leagues, and Dave Dombrowski was a very young executive with the Chicago White Sox. Both have carved out a really good year, really good careers.
There's another hit for Victor Martinez. 3rd hit of the game today.
And of course, Jim Leland is a really good friend of Tony La Russa's. Best friends, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, they squared off in the 06 World Series. Oh, and Victor, he just won't stop hitting. And he'll depart the game now, and Andy Dirks will take over. So as the month of July wraps up, Victor Martinez can flash a big smile for what he's been able to do this month. Here is Peralta. Ball 1 to Johnny. 15 Detroit hits. Foul tip 1-1. Two guys that have been in the game a long time. Tony La Russa, Dave Dombrowski. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fouled off. 1-2 the count.
When I was a young player in the White Sox organization, I played for La Russa in spring training. He was going to manage the AA team, and I spent the majority of that spring in 1978 playing for the AA team. only to get sent down when that trickle-down effect comes. The big leaguers come down, AAA guys come down, then the AA guys get sent down to A-ball. But it sure was a treat to play for him.
What do you remember about him?
He was bright. I mean, this guy was a lawyer.
Yeah.
I mean, he got into minor league coaching, and this guy was a decent baseball player. But he was a very bright man. And most guys that go and get their degrees in law school, you don't find themselves as minor league managers.
2 balls, 2 strikes. 3-2 on Johnny Peralta.
We've had him on our air a couple times.
We have. And it's always fun catching up with him. Hernan Perez waiting on deck.
Jim Leland gives Tony La Russa a lot of credit for teaching him how to be a good big league manager. Jim said, I was a good manager, but I had spent my entire career managing the minor leagues. He said, but once I got to the big leagues and I was on Tony's staff in Chicago, he said, Tony taught me how to deal with big league players.
Here is Hernan Perez. 1 for 4, a single to drive in a run back in the 5-run 4th. Strike called, 0-1. Half a minute to go. Sawed him off right back to the mound. Matthews fires to second, 1 relay. They turn it. That'll end the inning, double play, and we go to the 9th. Nats right out of the Motor City. 11 runs, 15 hits. Detroit, 1 run, 4 hits for the Nationals. Upcoming pitching matchup presented by Gordon Chevrolet. Mr. Pfister will be on the hill on Friday.
Doug pitches his best baseball second half of the year, and there's no difference this season with the way that he's pitched his last couple of outings.
Hector Santiago will oppose him. We'll be on the air at 6 o'clock Friday with all of our coverage. In the meantime, Evan Reed now will come in for an inning.
Evan Reed has pitched well enough that they decided to keep him on the staff, and they sent Peconin down just yesterday when they made the trade to acquire Jose Veras from the Houston Astros.
And so Reed will try and get the final 3 outs. Ian Desmond leads it off here in the 9th inning. Tried to hold up, couldn't do it. Desmond, Rendon, and Suzuki due up. Verlander started, went 6, Koch in the 7th, Albuquerque in the 8th, and now Reed in the 9th. Ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Little chopper hit to the right side. Kelly with a short hop. He'll tag the bag for the out. Apparently another trade has become official. Kansas City gets outfielder Justin Maxwell from the Houston Astros for minor leaguer Kyle Smith.
Justin Maxwell's got a tremendous amount of talent, and Kansas City continuing to stockpile outfield talent. They gave up the youngster they sent down to Tampa Bay Rays, Will Myers, but they acquired themselves another talented outfielder.
Here's Rendon. Strike 1 on Rendon. So the Royals have decided, you know what? We're still in this thing. They're a game over 500.
Yeah, they haven't been over 500 at this point of the season in a long, long time.
The 0-1 pitch. The challenge they face is leapfrogging Cleveland before they can get to Detroit. Of course, Tampa, Boston, Baltimore all playing good baseball in the American League East. Oakland, Texas battling it out right now in the West. Rolled foul. 1-2 on Anthony Rendon. Washington got a run in the first inning, and that's all they've gotten. Nothing but 0 since. What happened here? Pena trying to scoop it with his lid. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tigers about to run their winning streak to 5 straight. Royals have won 7 straight. That's to third base. Fair ball behind the bag. Santiago's throw will pull Kelly off the base. Infield hit. Well, you can see the Tigers tangle with the Royals Thursday, August 15th through Sunday, August 18th. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. It's funny how win streaks at certain times of the year can make your decisions, because now with the Royals winning 7 straight, they're feeling, well, we probably need to go for this. Here is Suzuki.
Tigers not allowing Cleveland nor Kansas City to make up any ground because they continue to handle their own business, and that's just winning every day.
Balk is called. That'll move the runner to second. Tiger pitching had retired 11 straight prior to that single by Rendon. Oh. 1-0 on Kurt Suzuki. Lights are on here at the ballpark in what has been a cloudy, overcast day. Some sprinkles throughout the afternoon as well. Here's the 1-0. Chopper slowly back to the mound. Reed will handle this one. 2 gone, advance the runner to third. And that's going to leave it up to the number 9 hitter, Lombardozzi. Nearly 41,000 in attendance here today, and they're on their feet for the final out. In the air, left field should do it. And the ball game is over. The Tigers sweep the Nationals. They sweep the Phils and now the Nats. And Detroit runs the winning streak to 5 straight. 11-1 the final score. Back with more from the ballpark.